Welcome everyone. And we are Indivisible Bellingham, as you know. I'm Robin Thomas, and I just want to welcome you all here tonight. We're so grateful for you all to want to participate in this evening, and we know we have other things you might rather be doing, but you came here to hear us talk about organizing, and we're grateful for that. I have a couple housekeeping items for you. First off, the bathrooms are back towards the front door, and to the right, up the stairs, there's 2 bathrooms up there if you need to go there. We also have, someone mentioned to me, you don't need to change it now, but when you park across the street, people are sort of, there's 3 lines of parking, but folks are sort of parking other people in. So be aware of that, that if you did that, you want to scoot out there so that other people can leave. And all of you should have a handout. Does everybody have a handout? Anybody not have a handout? Great. That'll be important later on in the evening. And I just wanted to say that Indivisible Bellingham, we're all volunteers, and we don't spend a lot of money, but we do print things, we run rallies, and I'm just going to pass a donation bucket if you are able. That would be great. Start each. So thank you again. You're going to hear more about the next upcoming rally for sure today. I am, again, Robin Thomas. I've been a hamster for about 8 years. I think most of you here have probably been here longer than me. I started with Indivisible in 2017 doing postcarding, and we have sent 35,000 postcards to swing states around the country, these important places. I've also been on tour off and on throughout that time. And Indivisible, our niche here in Bellingham has been mostly we've been the people running rallies. You remember in the first bad era, we were constantly having rallies against all the various terrible things that were going on. And we also run informational meetings, our once a month all hands meetings. But that was all within the context of a country that was experiencing democratic backsliding. But now we're organizing and reorienting, unfortunately, to fight authoritarianism. And to meet the moment, we just feel like we need to name, kind of with clarity and urgency, like this is what's happening here. And we need to organize broadly across all of our differences to come together and work together in the best way that we can to fight this, the moment that we're in, and to build collective power. Yes. How many folks are maybe here for the first time? Can you raise your hands? Okay, keep your hands up. Yes. How many people are here, started coming after the No Kings rally? Add your hands. A few more. Since February. All right. So awesome. Thank you. Thank you for paying attention and for coming out to try to do what we can. This is why you're at a reorganization meeting. Indivisible groups across the country are all dealing with this. We've almost doubled in size since just January. We are going to describe it, we're a small band of people trying to figure out what to do and try to take in all the folks that are coming and offer things for you to do in ways to get involved. So everybody is trying to retool to really bring everyone into organizing structures. So today, everyone, old and new members are going to learn how to plug in, with our new structure. So the agenda tonight is that we're going to learn about this reorganization and what we're doing, and then we're going to meet team members, and you're going to have an opportunity to see what the individual teams are made up of. This isn't a static thing. This is just where we're at now. So we took what we have in our priorities, we recreated the structure, and it will grow going into the future. And at the end, we're going to offer you to take our survey, which is on that handout. The QR code will take you to the survey, and that's going to help us to figure out what skills are out there and where to plug people in. We also would like to introduce ourselves. We're just ordinary people, not a lot of poli-sci majors in our group. We have few magical powers. So if anyone does have magical powers, please let us know. We're really inspired by the courage of the national leaders of Indivisible, and also by all the thousands of Indivisible leaders across our country. People are all stepping up in every way possible to run these rallies, to bring people together. And we don't wear masks. We're out here in the community. We'll stand in front of you at rallies and we are going to continue to do that. You won't find us on our website. We don't have our names and our phone numbers and our faces. You're going to have to come in person to see us, but that's just us enacting kind of a rational security in an internet day when people can harvest that kind of information. But we aren't a secret cabal, and we're not intending to be hidden in our community. We value our community relations above all. Somebody did mention, just recently with the Charlie Kirk killing, that there's been a lot of escalation, and we've been knowing that this is going to come for a long time. So everyone, take care of yourselves. We realize that this is likely to get more intense, but we want to say that we're going to remain out in the public, and we are not going to obey the bans. Thanks, and Christiana has been working really hard on all of this presentation and work, and I'm going to pass it on to her.
Hello everyone, I am Christiana, and I am actually very new to Indivisible Bellingham. My first meeting was actually back in April, and now I'm here. But I have had just such a pleasure working with this team. When I came to them, they welcomed me and really helped me with the path that I'm on right now. And I am personally really excited about this restructuring because it's really about what Robin said. It's about inviting more of you in and letting you be a part of this leadership and just tell us what you want to do and helping you do that. So what we're going to do is, before we talk about what's new, we're going to talk a little bit about what the organization was beforehand. So, this team is and was a very small team. So it's a very core team, a small core team, which also meant that they had a lot of overlapping responsibilities. So one person, maybe did peacekeeping and also did the newsletter and all sorts of things. And so this was really good because this did allow them to gain a lot of experience and knowledge and connections. And that was one of the things that really drew me to Indivisible personally, because when I came to them, they were so ready to just connect me to the next step that I needed to do. And the one thing that it also did, though, was what we looked at was it also kind of limited pathways for people to kind of come on, because the roles and the functions of each group were not necessarily clear. And so one of the things that we are trying to do in the new organization is clarify those roles. So you'll see these really nice, neat 8 circles. What you can kind of think about this is that beforehand, this was just one really large circle. And that made it hard for people to kind of come on and move up and figure out where they wanted to be. And so when we do this new model, this really helps because when these roles are clarified, it makes it easier for people to step in. And it also helps for us to share that leadership and expand that leadership as well. And what you can kind of see, or what you want to, if you kind of want to think about it this way, is that now something like logistics has its own circle. So when you think of something like the main organizers of logistics can now go and recruit people for that specific group and look for peacekeepers or people that do sound, and it makes it more clear for people to know where to go, and it's going to make it easier for the new organization and core team to onboard people and to mentor them as well. And you'll also see that the two main groups here is the issues teams and the operations teams as well. So the operations team, this is basically the foundation. This is, again, things like the newsletter and peacekeeping and logistics and permits. It's really the infrastructure that allows for our issue groups to function. And it's what kind of you see like when we do the No Kings event or the All Hands events. It is the foundation of that. And it allows for the frontline communities that are actually on the ground protecting democracy to do what they do. So for example, one of the things that I did before I was working with Trans Survival before I was working with Indivisible Bellingham, was working with Trans Survival. And there was an event that we were doing where we needed peacekeeping, and we were able to come to them. Hello? Oh, is that better? Yeah. Makes it easy to read? Okay, good. But, yeah, so when Trans Survival had a rally going on, we went to Indivisible Bellingham, and their operations team was able to supply us with peacekeepers. So when we fill the organization, or like the operating team, and we get like a really fully functioning team going on, we can do more of that. We can support more of those groups that are helping our most vulnerable communities. And that's really what this reorganization is about. We just really want to make sure that people have clear pathways into these different groups so that we can share that leadership and so we can support those issue teams and other groups that we might be affiliated with. And so one of the things that we want to talk about as well is why we're doing this. So when we disperse power to the membership, this again creates pathways to organized resistance. It strengthens the community through uplifting frontline action, and it helps us build that local power. Those are the two things that are very foundational when it comes to fighting back against tyranny. And one of the things that we see is that oftentimes authoritarian regimes thrive when we are isolated and when we're divided. However, when we look at things like the civil rights movement, the civil rights movement and the Poland solidarity movement and the People Power Revolution in the Philippines, they all succeeded because they had strong community networks. They had shared leadership. They had everybody pitching in. And that's what allowed for the democratic resurgence. And when I think of Indivisible, I think of it almost like a lighthouse. It's a beacon. It was one of the reasons why I came to it. I came looking for clarity and direction. And that's one of the things that Indivisible does best, is it connects people together, it creates spaces for us to organize, and this is really going to allow more of you to choose your own path to resistance. So again, I'm really excited about this because you don't have to be an expert to organize, you don't have to be with years of experience, you can be anyone, and this is really Indivisible's way of bringing you guys in and letting you be a part of this and making it a little bit easier. And so what we're going to do next is we're going to introduce the different teams that we have up here so you can get to know them and learn what you can do and how you can plug in. And Taylor is going to be the one that gets us started.
If the other team members could make their way up to the stage as well.
introduce myself while they're doing that. My name's Taylor. I've been a member of Indivisible Bellingham for 3 years, maybe 4, probably 3. And I put together a rally, hands-off rally, before Roe v. Wade was overturned, and Indivisible reached out to me and they wanted to pair up, and then I was like, what do y'all do? This is cool. And I've been a member ever since. So, I'm really excited to introduce our teams. As we all know, and Christiana expressed, connection and community action are essential if we want to win back democracy, but they're also really essential for our well-being. As we worked on the reorganization, our team got together and we did a lot of reflecting. We had an organization that
That's my favorite.
We had a model that wasn't working for us, and so we asked ourselves, why do we organize? What do we gain by being a part of this? And these are some of the answers that we had. We gain not feeling alone, putting our anxiety into something useful, staying connected to people I value. That was a big one. Met some really great friends here. Learning new things, focusing on community, and at least we tried to stop this mofo. This is what it means to be a part of Indivisible Bellingham. You won't only be organizing to protect democracy, you'll have the opportunity to find support, purpose, and friendship. So each team is about to share what they do, why they do it, why it matters, and how you can maybe be a part of that. Our first team is communications.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Leja. I have been part of Indivisible Bellingham since the very beginning in 2017, right after the inauguration. It's been a pretty wild ride. We never thought it was going to get this bad, did we? We have a communications team that basically does that. It takes care of communicating to you what actions and events and news we think are important. One of the things we've done this year with the newsletter is give you actionable items that you can take from your armchair. Actions that actually do make a difference. And we publicize events, but not all of those events are things that we're doing ourselves. We're actually working with other groups and trying to publicize the things that they do as well. What started out as basically me writing the newsletter every month, or every week, that is, turned into when I went to the Indivisible Bellingham members, and asked them if they would be interested in writing, because a lot of people, when they sign up to be a member and they want to get on our newsletter, we ask them for their skills, their interests, and they talk about, what they could do. Some people are lawyers, some people are writers, other people are organizers, some people do childcare. I mean, there's any number of things that people do or have interests in. So what I did was I scanned through all of the data that we have, and I also asked in the newsletter for people that are writers that might be interested in creating actions that our members could take. Had 22 people sign up right away. And we had some Zoom calls, and we talked about what it was like to take actions or to write actions for people, the kind of information that we were looking for. We were looking for the action, some background on it, maybe some links that people could click on, what action we wanted people to take, and then even give them a script. Because, we're all busy people. Some people out there have, 2 or 3 jobs. Other people are retired, so they have a retirement job. Like me, And this has turned into pretty much a full-time job for me. So I know that there's a lot that we want to do, but there isn't a lot of time to take those actions. So we try and make sure that people know what's going on and can take an action very easily. The more easy we make it, the more likely they are to take the action, and the more likely it is that their action will actually do some good. So that's what the action team is about, but the communications is all about making sure that the Indivisible Bellingham, the branding and the mission statement that we stay true to is carried throughout whatever we do. So communication also has to do with photography and videotaping. I would love it if somebody would be able to videotape these meetings instead of myself, so that I could do other things to help out. The same thing with, at the last rally, we had people that came and offered to fly drones over our rally, which was great. So there are all kinds of things that we could be doing with our communications, making our website better. Our website, I'm sorry to say, is, well, it needs help, let's just say that. So somebody out there that might be interested in having a shot at redesigning the website would be great. You know, you need content providers for the website. You also need graphics for the website. We don't have anybody to do that right now. So we are looking for a number of different people to step up. And I love it when people step up. Like, I had somebody who's been a member of Indivisible Bellingham for a while step up and say, this was about a few months ago, say, you know, you guys really need help with your Facebook page. It's really chaotic, and I totally agree. It was terrible. People were asking questions on it, and they were just randomly posting stuff, and it was really chaotic. So she stepped up and said, I'll be a moderator. We should moderate the page. And Aurora, where are you? Raise your hand. There she is, right there. Aurora's our new moderator for Facebook page. We also had somebody step up and say, how are you interacting with people that want to be members? Are you getting back to them? And I said, well, all we're doing right now is sending them a welcome email. I don't have time to follow up with them. And this person said, well, I could do that. And she stepped up. Is Frances here tonight? Frances Posel? Every time somebody wants to join Indivisible Bellingham, I put their information into our MailChimp program, and then I send the information to Frances, and she calls or emails whoever is on the list. And if someone donates, specifically if we have somebody that donates who we know is donating, writing a check to PayPal or Venmo, unfortunately nobody put their names on their dollar bills on the bucket tonight, but Frances will actually call you and thank you for your donation and tell you what it's going to. Okay, great. So anyway, I'm taking way too long, I apologize, but communication team really, really needs your help. And on the list that you've got there, you've got some various things. There's also on the survey, you'll find an interest section for the various operations teams, and communications is one of them. Believe me, if you're interested in helping with the communications team, we'll use your help. And it could be 30 minutes a week, it could be 30 hours a week. I love it. Any help possible would be great. So I'll turn this over now to Taylor. Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Next is Rally and Logistics.
Thank you, thank you. How many people saw the newsletter that told about this event? How many people saw that newsletter? Kevin wrote that newsletter. I mean, it's probably the best thing this organization is doing, is giving everybody more stuff to do than they could possibly handle on a weekly basis. And that's on Kevin that does that.
Thank you.
Our other claim to fame is putting on rallies, which we have been doing since the 45 administration. And that has been, I did a rally with just myself and one person who'd never done a rally before. 300 people, they all showed up. We had representatives from the legislature, great success. And that was just her, me, and our hero, Albert Snow, who shows up gratis, which is my favorite price for these things, and then make sure everybody can hear. Well, the last rally we did, how many people went to the No Kings rally? Yeah. You were a small representation of about, they say, 6,000 people. That's a different ball game. 200 people standing in front of the Civic Center and 6,000 people crowded into a space. The logistics are more complicated and we need help. For the last two large rallies with thousands of people, it was me and Albert packing a huge amount of very heavy equipment into a van that was too small to hold it. Everybody after the rally, they kind of disappeared. That's organizational on me. But what I want from people who are interested and who can lift things, I'd like you to get back to me and join into a logistics team, and then we'll organize that in shifts, and people can show up and help in certain stations. You know where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be, and rather than having a couple of 70-year-olds, we've got some people, like more 70-year-olds, even that would be great. My other wish list on rallies is I'd like to have a team of about 4 to 6 people who are specifically trained to work with the sound equipment. We have different sound equipment than we had. This guy is hand building equipment, and it's very expensive and it's very heavy, and he's very persnickety, and rightly so, on how it gets handled. So if we could get a small team of people to just work with him, that are trained by him, to move the equipment around, it's not that hard, but you gotta do it right. So that's my wish list there. The other thing in my portfolio is protests. And that's sort of like trying to control a stampede. It's not an organizational problem. It's a, where are you all? What are you doing so I can tell people problem? They're just popping up organically in this community. There's literally a protest every day of the week. There are people on the streets saying this is wrong, it's not normal, we need to stop this, and that's great. But what I need from people is to show up. Because what we've got is every day of the week there are maybe as many as a dozen people at a protest with banners and flags and things. Some of them are at inconvenient times because that's when the cars are on the road. But when you see those rallies and protests show up in your newsletter, consider coming by. I do one on Mondays. I'm only doing it for a couple more weeks because it's going to start getting dark. But it's the happy hour protest. We're there at rush hour on Meridian Street. And it's a small group of us because who's available on rush hour. But we focus messages that say popular ideas that these are policies you disagree with and they're doing them to you, to several thousand commuters on Monday. And then we go out for beers afterwards, which is great. Which is great, because we get together, we know each other, we're doing that community building, and Larrabee Lager has some very decent brews and a decent pizza as well. So that's a couple more Mondays. And that's it for me.
Next we have membership, welcome, and social.
Been down there being the hook. So I'm Robin again. I wear many hats, as we all actually do. And a few personal notes. I come from the burb of Seaholm up on the hill, and I'm also a Peace Corps volunteer. And I just came back from, yes, how many Peace Corps volunteers? Yes, a smattering, yay, thank you. I haven't seen my peeps in 30 years, and I just went to a weekend reunion with everybody. It was so inspiring, so good. So, welcome and social. This is a new group. We're just getting started, and in part we wanted to do this because as this organization grows and diversifies, it might start to feel a little disconnected, and we want to make sure that we help welcome people, that we help bring them into the organization, that we do social events. So it's the easiest one to get involved with, because if you like to throw parties, you like to have potlucks, you're in, you're like, that's all you need. So I also am a native introvert, and I would love somebody to help me who's an extrovert and would help organize parties and not be so nervous and want to talk to people all day long. We're going to talk to people at rallies, we're going to talk to people, at gatherings, and we're going to maybe start some smaller groups. So for our next big rally, I'd love to see small neighborhood groups coming together and coming down to the rally together. And that's the kind of thing that these small, that the social group can help, like small neighborhood groups get together and, just do something, do anything, do what they can, come down. I have a neighbor who happens to have 10 handmaids costumes. So I was like, yeah, dude, let's do it. Like, let's find 10 people and walk down to the march. So people have ideas like that. We'll be able to field some of those and help people out. And friends and neighbors. So you're going to talk to friends and neighbors in my group. That's about it, I think. That was all I had. Taylor.
Next we have community events and mobilizations.
Hi there, I'm Vicki Thomas, and I have been in Bellingham for about 10 years. I joined Indivisible in 2017, but I am very new to the core organization team. My team is events and mobilizations, and we do lots of things. We do all-hands meetings, democracy trainings, resistance education. We also do longer-term strategic planning and the rallies that you're going to be seeing later this year. As Trump and his minions escalate attacks on our community, on our neighbors, and on democracy itself, it's clear that we cannot be stuck in reactivity. What we have to do is have stronger actions, more strategic actions, and connect ever more deeply with our community. And that's where you guys come in. So if you look at the events and mobilizations team, we have availability in all of the areas, and I especially would love help with doing these meetings. The all-hands meetings could use a great coordinator, so I'm looking for somebody who can help with that. So if you have a little time or a lot of time, we welcome you. I'm very optimistic. I believe that if we work together, we can change this dark time to a new beginning for our country, where we have a country that truly works for all of us. So I believe that if we work together, we can do this. We can do this.
Next next is the immigrant support team.
Hi there, my name is Scott Powell. I live on the south side of Bellingham and retired from a career in environmental work. I'm here to represent the Indivisible Bellingham Immigrant Support Team, which is a small group. In fact, our small core group is mostly here, and I'll name our group. Sue Stendebach couldn't be here tonight, but we have Pat Henderson, Wendy Kortmanch, Susan Ford, who I happen to be married to, and myself. So we're just a small group that's getting started as part of a large network across this county trying to help immigrant families. Back in December of 24, we kind of started seeing or anticipating this idiocy coming down the road, and started reaching out to other groups in the community who are doing immigrant work and seeing what sort of a role we could take on as some value added to the community. With that, others in the IB core team helped us with that. Kathy Kuba, Michael Barris, and we met with a lot of people, and the continuing message, the consistent message we got was that these families are out there living in real fear. Every day they face tough decisions about whether it's safe to go to work, whether it's safe to go to the grocery store or send your kids to school. And so that's, I think, what we're trying to do is address some of those fears in our own small way. So what are we doing specifically? We've got 3 key areas that we're working on. One is called the accompaniments team. We have about a dozen volunteers who've gone through some training and vetting in order to help families go and attend their immigration events, whether that is at immigration court or asylum or ICE check-ins that they need to do. Most of those have been in Seattle. We're trying to open it up to more local accompaniments so that people can safely go to the doctor or the grocery store or deal with their kids' activities and whatnot. So that's accompaniments. Second, we help to prepare family safety plans, just in case a family loses their parents to detention or deportation, what happens to the kids. And so this team helps fill out or guide people on what documents they need to assemble and how they need to make arrangements in the community for their families. And then there are power of attorney documents that deal with things like parental care, seeking health care, complicated matter, and dealing with financial resources and making sure people's assets are safe and whatnot. Third, and this is kind of a mixed bucket, but we can do small things to fill gaps in the community. You all, for example, in the last month or so, donated more than $1,000 that we've used for gasoline credit cards. So families that need to go and visit their loved ones in the Tacoma Detention Center can afford to go. So that's one thing. We also attend sort of different events in the immigrant community, and it's just a value to show up and show our support. We can keep an eye out for security and whatnot, and help with setup and child care and the like. So those are the 3 areas that we're working in. I'd say again that we're really just a small part of a lot of work going on in the community. We get referrals for our accompaniments largely from a group called IRIS, Immediate Support, or Immediate Resources and Immigrant Support. Others, such as the Bellingham Schools and a local group called Law Advocates, are arranging these events where families can come and do their family safety plans, and those are where we volunteer to help with those. I want to mention the Whatcom Faith Community Immigrant Support. 20-some churches that have come together, and they've been supplying food boxes every week to many of the families that were impacted by that big raid at Mount Baker Roofing Company. So kudos to them. And then there's also a very active rapid response team of about 35 volunteers who are combing the streets. They're trying to track ICE activity and document what they're doing to our community. So thank you and kudos to all of those groups that we try to work with and coordinate. So I know that you all are here to help, to participate in saving democracy and helping our immigrant neighbors. We're at such a small scale and startup mode that we don't have the capacity to manage volunteers, a lot of volunteers, and to arrange for the activities that you can participate in. But we're going to get there, I think. We do have needs now for Spanish language speakers and other languages to help with the accompaniments and to help with the family resource plans or safety plans. We need people who can drive to Seattle during the week, weekdays. Sometimes it's a long day, but folks who can do that, and folks who know folks in the immigrant community. It's one of our real needs is to improve our outreach to the actual community. And so if you all want to volunteer, if you think you can fulfill any of those needs, I strongly encourage you to go ahead and contact us through the Indivisible Bellingham website. There's a contact form, as Kevin was describing. And we will get back to you and talk about how we can work together. So that's all I have. Thanks much.
Next is Beyond the Land Acknowledgement.
Hey, hello. My name is Peach Tarver. I live in the Whatcom Falls neighborhood of Bellingham, and I have been in Indivisible Bellingham since 2017, January, when we started. It's a great group, you guys. It's a group of activists who keep on going and going and going. And we've done a lot of different kinds of work, but we have also found a lot of companionship within the group and support. So consider joining, helping in with any of these groups, and I think you would find yourself fulfilled by working with members here. And for the causes, too. So anyway, I have been working with Beyond. In your program, I think it's called Indigenous Relationships on your page. Yeah. But we've gone back to the title of Beyond the Land Acknowledgement. You all know that we usually say the land acknowledgement in the beginning of meetings, not just us, everybody in Bellingham does, any organization. And we feel it's time to, it sort of makes you feel good to read the land acknowledgement, right? And to really take that in. But we believe it's time to go beyond that and start developing relationships, meaningful relationships with our Indigenous neighbors, both on the Lummi Nation and on the Nooksack watershed, a river watershed. So that's our goal. We are entering into discussions with our Coast Salish neighbors to find out what areas they might need support with, how we could work with that, but we are operating under the guidance of our Coast Salish neighbors. I'm one of the leaders of the Beyond the Land Acknowledgement team, and Carla Ward is also a member working with that. And I love working with Carla. She's got great ideas. And you want to come up and say anything?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, we do have masks in this building. Want to make sure you know we're not anti-mask.
So I'll just give you an idea of some of the things that we have on our, that we hope to fill up our plate with. We want to arrange a meeting a listening session with the chairman of the Lummi Nation, as well as the chairwoman of the Nooksack tribe. And it's just, listen, what do we need to understand that we don't even begin to understand? They will be going through some things just like we're going through some things in relation to the current administration that will be different. Some of it will be different, some of it will be similar. How can we best be engaged neighbors with them and vice versa? Is there something that they want to understand about us? For instance, did you know that there is a cultural liaison from the Nooksack tribe to the Deming Library? I didn't know that until I attended an event there last weekend. So there are resources that are available that we don't even know about yet. And there are positions on Whatcom County advisory councils that are for tribal members that are not being filled. Why? Why? And what needs to happen to get full engagement between our jurisdictions? Because we literally have 3 separate jurisdictions that border Whatcom County: the Nooksack tribe, the Lummi tribe, and Canada. And they're all freestanding freestanding jurisdictions. So beyond land acknowledgement is exactly that. We feel that just acknowledging unceded territory is just beginning to scrape the surface of how we can work together. Back to Peach.
So we're setting up these meetings and finding out how we can further our work and help support or develop the community that we also know is essential for fighting what's happening in our country. This backsliding out of democracy, one of the first things we learn about is develop and expand your communities. So that's a part of our hope. And so if any of you, Carla and I both have personal stories, family stories that go back that have made us have this attraction to working with Indigenous peoples. If you've got anything similar and you would like genuine relationships, to try to develop genuine relationships with the Indigenous nations, hey, we can use additional work here. There are a lot of areas, like Carla just said, just finding out about some positions that we could help maybe make sure they're filled, etc. So if you have that background, you've got the interest in it, we would welcome you to join our group and join in some of the meetings and then the follow-up work for that. We know how essential this developing community is. All right, I would like to just add, are there any Sierra Club people here? And were you at the rally last weekend on the 6th? No? Okay, so what happened at the rally last week is we at Indivisible Bellingham helped co-sponsor that rally. And so when I first contacted the Sierra Club about co-sponsoring, I asked about Indigenous speakers who can speak so well on the environment. And at that time they didn't have anyone lined up. But they did such a great job of getting the House of Tears primary carver, Jewel James, and also the primary person who works on the canoe journeys and teaches the young people on the Lummi Nation how to canoe. They both showed up with the totem pole that's just been carved and has just been taken down through the state of Washington, the state of Oregon, into the northern part of California, where dams were taken down off the rivers there. So now they're coming back up on Friday night. They'll be in Seattle again and be at, oh, that big auditorium, the PACCAR, what's it called? Anyway, they're going to be in Seattle, and if you want to welcome them back with that beautiful totem, you should consider going down there. But I think that Sierra Club did that great job just by, well, I don't know. They did a great job of getting the Lumbee Nation involved in that, and I'm very appreciative of the fact that they did that. It also allowed us, Indivisible, to collect donations for that totem trip, and we did collect $700 to help support the totem trip. So, anyway, I'm sorry. If you want to work with us, if you have that desire, your heart's there, etc., you want to work for a more just future, please consider joining us. Thank you.
The next team is Democracy and Elections. This team is kind of spearheaded by Andrew, who is off in Scotland getting married, so good for him. And Philip, who is, nope, I'm so sorry, Michael, who is away also needing a new grandbaby. So really happy things. So they sent me a little spiel that I'm going to read to y'all. It's pretty straightforward what they do. The Democracy and Elections team will drive electoral engagements through carefully selected postcarding campaigns, which we do a lot of. We've been doing for a long time. Karen, who I saw earlier, does a lot of that. Karen, we have efforts in voter registration. That's huge. Turnout efforts either on our own or in collaboration with other groups. We do canvassing work and local campaign initiatives. We haven't done endorsements in the past, but we will continue to address the pros and cons of endorsing and not endorsing. We haven't. It's an ongoing discussion, I think. But that's the main thing that they do. Pretty straightforward. Our last group, last but not least, is LGBTQ+.
So, as you guys know, I'm Christiana, very new, and I really wanted to bring on a LGBTQ plus community to Indivisible Bellingham to help protect some of the queer and trans people in our communities. Yes. And, you know, like many of you, I came to Indivisible looking for direction and help, and that's really what they helped me do with this. And they really helped me do the work that I want to do, which what I do right now is really focusing on finding allies, recruiting allies, connecting them together. Right now it looks like having coffee with a bunch of pastors, which is because they are often the ones that want to help create safe places for queer and trans youth. And so, like, for example, there was a pastor in a rural area that I connected with who is looking to do just that, build a safe place for the trans youth, because the thing that we know right now is that the government is actively trying to erase queer and trans individuals. And as they're doing that, we want to expand that visibility and that safety. And one of the things I also wanted to mention was that you do not have to be queer or trans to join this group. I myself am a cisgendered woman, which just means I identify with the gender I was assigned at birth. And I have a younger trans sibling. And so they're the biggest reason why I do what I do, because I want them and everyone else that is queer and trans to have the same safety, dignity, and respect that I do. Thank you. It sounds like people here care about that as well, and so, of course, if any of you are interested, this is a very new and emerging group, and when I mean group, I mean me, because I kind of came to Indivisible with it, so you'd be joining me, but I'd be really excited. You know, there's a lot of possibilities right now. Like I also mentioned, I have worked and continue to work with Trans Survival, which is a local queer and trans organization. I go to PFLAG meetings, things like that, and I really want to continue to also uplift their actions and make them more visible. And so I'm really excited about that. Just seeing if there's anything else I wanted to mention. I mean, that's about it. I'm just really excited to bring other people on because, especially in the rural areas, Bellingham, queer and trans visibility is pretty visible. But it is those outside communities that need a little bit more support. So if you join, that's going to be the focus as well. And in general, I just want to give a big thanks to you guys for listening to everybody up here. You guys got to hear about a lot of different groups that we're supporting, like the Indigenous community and the immigrant community. And these are our most vulnerable communities. And that's why, again, going back to why we're doing this reorganization, we want to create more protections for them. Because they're, like, when we protect our vulnerable communities, that is us protecting democracy. And the more that we do that and the stronger we are at that, that is the larger chance that we have at winning back democracy. Well, hopefully you guys can still see that. We'll maybe fix that in a moment. But again, this reorganization is really about empowering you guys to lead and to resist. And what you'll see up here, and maybe some of you have seen this before, but basically what it says is that when just 3.5% of the population stays engaged, change is inevitable. And so we want to increase our membership and have more of you become part of that 3.5%. Because the thing is, realistically, there's no one silver bullet. I wish there was. I wish there was one action we could do to win back democracy and beat this. But oftentimes, that's not the case. But what it is going to take is collective power. So it's less about the one action that you choose to do, but the fact that you are all here and you are choosing to be here tonight. And if you choose to continue to organize and be active in your community, that is going to help us win back democracy. So this is kind of the fun part. You guys can scan this QR code or on your paper or type in the link onto your phone as well. And this is where you guys get to tell us your opinions. You get to use your voice and tell us what you want to see next in upcoming all-hands meetings. And it's also going to be a way for you to tell us how you want to plug in and what you want to do next. So just again, I just wanted to mention that, yeah, I mean, if you've been thinking about joining or doing this, this is the time to do it. And, oh yeah, and then afterwards, we're going to have our core organizers kind of in the hallway and in the sanctuary here, so you can talk to us afterwards and chat us up and ask us questions. And then I just want to mention too that the core group is still small and there's a lot of you. So if you don't get your chance to speak to who you want to speak with, just have some grace and patience. Same thing for as when we bring more people on, that's going to take some time. We're still that small group, and so it's going to take us time to bring people on, get through the emails, do all of that, but we're very excited, and again, this is why we're doing it, so it'll take a little time. Other than that, I think that's it. Is there anything anybody else wants to add? We have a question?
Yes. How long is the survey going to be open?
Oh, good question. Kevin, do you know that answer?
How long is the survey? It's
Like how long is it going to be open?
For a while, for a month. A long time.
For a long time. I don't think there's really an end date. I mean, we'll continue to read your opinions as long as you would like us to. So, but again, thank you guys so much. Oh, Kevin?
As far as the survey goes, there was going to be a link in this morning's newsletter, but the newsletter was already too long and too involved. There will be another email that'll be sent out. If you're on our email list, you're going to get a dedicated email about the survey, and you'll be able to. I recommend taking it on a computer or a laptop as opposed to a phone, but you can do it on a phone as well. It's only 6 sections long, and not all of the questions are required. So if you want to skip some, you're welcome to skip some. But it's a way for us to find out who you are, how you engage, where you live, so that not your street address, but your neighborhood, because so many people have asked, I'd really like to get involved with a group in Linden, or I'd really like to get involved in a group in Concrete, or in this neighborhood in Sunnyland, or wherever. We think that that's a pretty good idea, and we would like to make sure that other people have that opportunity. If you like, you don't have to. So anyway, that's the survey. It'll be going out in the next day or so via email. If you're not getting emails from us, make sure that you fill out our contact form on our website, indivisiblebellingham.org/contact, and we'll make sure you get on it. Also make sure, if you think you're on it and not getting emails, check your spam folder. Okay.
And I think, go ahead.
So I filled out the survey,
Oh, nice.
and I've got specific things that I can contribute, but I don't know which group. Are you gonna be in touch with me?
Yes, we're going to be in touch with those of you that fill out that survey to kind of help you find your place. And again, like definitely, it's going to take us some time to get through those.
Yeah.
But yes, we will be in contact with you to kind of help work through that as well. Yes. Question?
Are you planning yet a October 18th rally?
Oh yeah, we did not talk about that. Robin, did you want to talk about that?
Oh, God, let me have it.
Okay, great. Also, thank you guys so much for your patience as well. I am not,
I don't know how that got through me and Philip and all of them. We're so excited. So October 18th, Saturday, we are having a big rally. Please get it on your calendars. It will be at Maritime Heritage Park. We are working with Robert Saracen Blake of the String Band Jamboree. We are going to have lots of music. We are going to have art. We're going to center art and music in that rally. We're spinning out ideas right now, so if you have ideas, I have this great vision of like people walking and banging pots from their neighborhoods to downtown. We're trying to reach out to the Western. I want those handmaids. I want people to have fun. We're going to dance. We're going to have a big energetic rally to join with all the people across the country that are doing that. And if you remember back to the No Kings rally, the thing that I love telling people is you think, oh, rally, a lot of people are like, when does that do, right? After the No Kings rally, Donald Trump's approval rating dropped 6%. Now, he doesn't care how much people like him, but you know what? That's important. And so when we do that, that national thing really gets through, it breaks through the silly news cycle, and people see people across the country, and they see how much opposition there is. So please come out. Please bring your friends and neighbors. Please dress up in funny clothes. Think about things that you want to do and do them. Come.
all right, well, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. And again, thank you guys so much. Some of us are going to hang out here, so if you have more questions, let us know, but you are free to go.